What's up, everybody? Welcome in. Please like and subscribe on your way in. We are glad you decided to check out the Dirt Talk Nation tonight. We have a great show for you. We have the driver of the 22P sprint car, Taylor Courtney. He's going to join us here shortly. We'll be talking racing and, of course, what it's like being a twin with a guy who also races and gets confused by announcers and stuff like that, and probably some other weird stuff too. Then we'll probably have the current United States Modified Touring Series points leader, Jake Tim. He'll be on the show later on in the hour. The USMTS is supposed to race at RPM Speedway this weekend, but Mother Nature might win out again this week. So we'll check the forecast. We'll hawk some t-shirts. We'll pop some coldies, and generally, we'll have a good-ass time. So big thanks to East Texas Towers Black Acid Racing Apparel for making this happen week after week. Guys, sit back, strap on your seatbelts, because it's time to go racing in the Dirt Talk Nation.
She was there from the start by his side, and through all the scars and pain he'd hide, he'd work extra hours to make ends meet, dragging to the shop flat dead on his feet. She never dreamed it would be this hard, but nothing comes between a man and his racing car. She said we're gonna be a mile down a dead-end street, when you know tracks like that you can never be beat. He'd lose the love but with top prize, she sits and cries and grease stains in his eyes. There's no other love between a road and a tire, nothing comes between a man and his racing car.
Welcome into the Dirt Talk Nation. This is the first episode with my dude, my main man, Lance Plant. And as you can see on his moniker there, he is a modified driver, professional shit talker, and you know, that we all strive to be something in the world, and you might as well be that, right? Oh, look at you. Did you pop it without even, you just waited, didn't even wait till we got on the air.
I'm sorry.
So here's what we're doing. We're popping coldies. Look, just in case here, we're drinking Silver Bullets. Drinking the Silver Bullets here. Coors Light. If you want to sponsor the Dirt Talk Nation, Bubby, we got you right here. Let me pop this coldie right here on the air so you guys can hear it. Oh, that sounds so good. Let's get it. All right, it is time to go racing in the Dirt Talk Nation. Lance, how you been, my man?
Man, I've been good. Been racing a little bit. Been working a lot. Ready for school to get out so I can race more.
Man, look, it's you got to stay busy, man. I think with this crazy ass economy we're in right now, everybody's got to get their hustle on all the time, and it seems like you're just working 7 days a week. I mean, I really do work 7 days a week. My other job is in a professional NFL sports writer. I cover 10 different teams for the NFL, which is crazy. So that's 7 days a week. Matter of fact, as soon as we get off the air here, I got to go do that gig because the NFL schedule just dropped. But right now, we're talking about racing. Are we talking about racing? Racing? We're talking about racing? Yeah, look at that race car back there, the 29X. I used to call it the Baby Oil Express because every time I'd walk into the pits, I was like, well, I know where Lance Plant's parked because I just get to smell of baby oil, man. And so
you got to keep the mud off.
Well, I told it. Well, I mean, that's what Dirt Defender's for, isn't it? Not the company Dirt Defender? Dirt Defender also. Dirt Defender, if you'd like to sponsor the show, we're down. Dirt Defender. We'll just hawk all the goods, man. Let's we're gonna be like professional pitchmen for all the cool shit that you use on the race car.
Whatever we can get, man. We can support these vendors that support us. Whatever we gotta do.
Man, one of the things that I always crack up about is, I used to call it the Baby Oil Express. And I was telling you before the show, I was like, man, I always had this just vision of you going to the dollar store, right, and just getting all this baby oil and put it on the counter, with some rubber gloves and a case of beer, and just because the looks you would get.
The looks, man, would be incredible.
Would be incredible, man. So we're supposed to have racing this weekend at RPM Speedway, but I don't think it's going to happen. I don't.
Fingers crossed.
Man, for real. Because I love some racing, and the USMTS is in town this week, and hopefully we'll be able to get some racing in. But man, Mother Nature is looking like it's gonna win again. Man, Mother Nature's undefeated. You know,
I know it. You know,
Mother
and
Nature
that's
and the
why
infield tractor tire.
right. And
That's
that's all.
undefeated.
That's one reason why I've only ran 3 races this year because of the weather. It's been raining. It seems like every day. But I know Martin Edwards and the whole crew over at RPM will do all they can to get that race in. And USMTS puts on a hell of a show. I'm excited to see it.
I'm looking forward to it, man.
I'm excited to see it.
We had a great show this last week. It was crazy because, like, you know, I was looking on the map, and there was this huge. It was like a radar, right? And there's this huge storm just moving across, and I was like, man, it's gonna hit us. We're not gonna be able to race.
Right.
And then actually, a lot of the guys were trailering up their cars at RPM on Saturday, and boy, I tell you what happened is like God just was like, we're gonna race tonight, and he just freaking. And the rain went away, and we got some good racing in. It was awesome. And we're going to talk to Taylor Courtney here in a minute. Taylor Courtney actually was leading for a good chunk of the sprint car race, but a caution let Justin Fifield get right on his hip pocket, and, man, he had a great restart. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. But, yeah, first of all, let's do this. We're going to – hold on. Let me pull it up real quick. It's one of these things like where, you know, you're like half-ass prepared for shit.
Yeah. We really threw this together like in the last 2 or 3 days. For me.
100%. Because like Lance hit me up last week, and I was like, you know what, that's a good ass idea to have a co-host because it's a lot of fun, and you know, we can talk racing and
Talk shit.
Talk shit because that's just what we do, and pop coldies. You know, and generally have a lot of fun. That's our goal, right? So
That's our goal.
Hold on, I'm gonna share this screen right quick. Hold on, let's do this.
And we're live on Facebook, right?
We are live on. We're live on YouTube, and we shared it on Facebook. So
Gotcha.
we want to push all our traffic to YouTube for a multitude of reasons. Number one is so that we can grow the channel, so that we can be monetized. But y'all check this out. Check this out. Official Dirt Talk Nation t-shirts, hoodies, tank tops, long sleeves, whatever you want. They got it right there. And guess who hooks that up for us? Our friends at Black Acid Racing Apparel. You guys, if you're looking for shirts, hats, hoodies, whatever for your team, for your merch booth, whatever, hit my friends up at Black Acid Racing Apparel. They're located over in Kernsville, North Carolina. They're hooking us up. We're going to have actually a box in the mail next week of Dirt Talk Nation hats, so me and Lance can look sharp on the air with the big Dirt Talk Nation. I think they're going to do the leather stamped hats too. I think is what they're going to do. So those are freaking awesome. So you guys head on over to I'll post the link up, but it's basically Black Acid Racing Apparel. At the very top of their screen it says Shop by Driver, or you can just hit the search right here in the top right hand corner. Type in Dirt Talk Nation. It'll take you right here, and you guys go ahead and pick it up. Use the promo code TheWillRiggs. It's Will with one L. TheWillRiggs, and get 10% off your purchase. So go do that. Let's have some fun. So then we'll stop sharing the screen. So you know, always good times. So what we got coming up next, Lance? We're gonna have Taylor Courtney on, but right now we're gonna have a little message from our friends at East Texas Towers. Thank East Texas Towers. They are a presenting sponsor, and if you have any tower needs, like if you live in the country and you got shit internet, bam, they got you covered. If you have a ham radio and your antenna is shit, bam, they got you. If you need an antenna for anything, I live out in the country, I get a horrible cell phone service. Call East Texas Towers. Kenny Lovett and his entire crew are awesome. They're awesome for doing for doing all those things. Antenna wise, if you need it, they got you covered. So find them online, easttexastowers.com. And of course, we are cracking these coldies. We just want to make sure that you guys know that we're having a good time drinking cold beers, and you can too. Hey, I see Taylor Courtney. He's drinking some cold beer down there too. Matter of fact, let's do it right now, guys. The driver, the 22P. Look, let's add him to the stage here. Boom, Taylor Courtney. What's up, Bubba? You got to turn your mic on.
Yeah, I got to turn back on there.
There we go. What's
but
up,
no,
man?
we're doing all right. It's a lovely Wednesday night.
So I was doing the, of course, I call the races at RPM, and I was doing the recap, and I was watching all the videos. Of course, I don't see everything on the track, right? I'm calling the front of the race and whatnot. And let me ask you a question. Did you try to slide Job Fifield a little bit there when he was trying to get by you?
No, I mean, honestly,
it looked like you were trying to shut the door on him.
I was trying to, but it just wasn't. I wasn't gonna make it work. I race with Fifield a lot. I have a lot of respect with Fifield, and I've even helped crew on his car and stuff. So I knew what he was gonna do. I should have just went and anticipated what he was gonna do. I also didn't expect the momentum to come on nearly as good as it did off of two on that early of a restart in the race. The bottom was still pretty decent, so I just played the safe, and it didn't work out for me.
Man, he rides that high line all the way around the track. It seems like he's just constantly in that high line up against the wall, just freaking making it stick. And he came around. You were down low, and he came around that high side, and in your car, you just try to slide right up in front of him. But as soon as you're sliding up, and you're sliding up the track, and he just goes zoop right by you. And I was like, he was gone.
Yeah.
Like he's got a hot rod, man.
Oh, he does for sure. And that was the thing is I just barely saw him out of it. And a wing sprint car, it's hard to see out of the right side anyways. And so I barely saw him out of the corner of my eye. So before I made that lane change, I just stopped because it wasn't, but we were 8 laps in. And the older I get, the less it is trying to fight for those little bit of spots, especially knowing us two, we're not going to give an inch. Right. So I may as well just take my chances and try and track him back down.
So earlier this week, when I first talked to you about getting on the show, I had no clue that you're a twin. And
I am.
And that was kind of embarrassing for me, but I was like, I've been away from racing for a few years. But I can't help it that you guys have twins and all this other jazz.
Well, and it doesn't help that. So he was just at RPM during the High Limit show.
Yeah.
And then, but he doesn't even live in Texas. And so it really screws with people. So when they see us both around, like Chili Bowl is probably the worst because it's the longest time we're at the same place together. And I do my fair share of autographs. It just saves me the hassle of explaining it. And, because he's definitely on a more, he's on a bigger stage, right?
A grander scale.
Yeah. And, but it's cool. And me moving to Texas, and I've been down here 10 years now and just kind of created my own story. And I wouldn't say it's, anything glamorous, but I've just done my own thing. And, it's made it a lot easier for people to kind of understand, kind of do something different on social medias and stuff like that. But I also have a lot of fun with it too.
So, what are you drinking? We're drinking. We got silver bullets. What you got?
So I'm actually drinking, and I don't even drink seltzers, but I found this stuff. It's called Happy Dad. Okay.
Happy Dad.
And it's great. Yeah. And so it's grape flavored. And if you're gluten free, it's gluten free. It's actually made by Death Row Records.
Oh, that's cool.
Records.
And it tastes just like a grape soda.
Just like a grape soda? Is it like that? It reminds me like that. Is it like the Samuel Jackson's beer? It'll get you drunk, motherfucker.
All I know is it says it has 5%, and it just says it has carbonated water and alcohol. Doesn't say what kind of alcohol.
Right. Gets the job done.
Exactly.
Taylor, so you ran a few modifieds back in the day, didn't you?
I ran probably a total of maybe 3 races, and I don't know that I would really consider it racing. It was more just tearing shit up. I think the first race I raced, I think it may have been, I want to say Waco, heart of Texas, and there was barely enough cars that I made the show and just ran around the back, Didn't I had whatever shocks come on the car. Well, so I had a buddy over at Bilstein. I forget the guy's name, but I called him. I said, "Hey, I've got this IMCA car. I need some shocks." He sent me shocks, and it was like you flip the switch. I went to RPM, and it's locked down heavy. I've just got a crate motor in, but I go and win the damn heat race up on the fence, and I'm like, "All right, I think I can do this." But I roll across the scales, and I look over at Martin because Martin wasn't really race directing yet. He was just helping with the dirt work, and I looked at him. I said, I'm just as surprised as you are, buddy."
Yeah.
So then I get a redraw, and I redrew a 2, and I immediately go back to the top thinking I know what I'm doing, and I had not a freaking clue, and I get passed by probably about everybody. And I finally went to the bottom and made some decent laps, and that was about it. And then I think I ran Ardmore, and I think Josh Landers, I don't know if it's his son or whatever, was racing. And he, in the heat race, come all the way back across the track, killed the whole right side off the car. I mean, literally, I could see what was left of the deck next to my seat. And I'm like, this is dumb. Like, I would just much rather go bolt the wing back on.
Right.
And that's basically what I did. I found a guy that wanted to trade, and he wanted to go modified racing. He had some sprint car stuff. I traded him some cash so that way I could get all of his stuff, and he got a rolling modified out of it. And I've been making car racing ever since.
I remember that night at RPM. I was in the same heat race as you were in, and you were gone. I was second. And I'm like, man, who is this guy? You know,
I was trying to figure out the same thing because I went back and I think I watched the heat race back on Race on Texas, and I'm like, there's like some really good cars in this heat race, and they're probably trying to figure out who in the hell is this kid.
Yep.
So when you passed Lance, did you smell the baby oil or what?
I think Lance started on the back and probably run third. I started on the front row, so it wasn't a fair chance.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
I always give him shit about using all the baby oil up and.
Hey, I use baby oil too. It's cheaper, and to me it works better.
It works
but
well.
I heard y'all talking about it, and it's quite comical when you go and buy baby oil and you just clear out the shelf, and then you go up there, and if you really want to get a look from them, put some chapstick up on the counter.
Try that.
It's
that's funny.
I always thought it would be a funny deal, but you just go to the Family Dollar, and just rake all of them into a bucket, and throw something weird up there like rubber gloves, and people are gonna be like, what?
Hey, sometimes all you can get is a lavender. The lavender scent one too.
So it puts everybody to sleep. Hey, you got rock to sleep.
Right. So what else have you driven, Taylor? I mean, I think I've seen crate late model, midget, 305, everything.
So I drove just about, everything that I've come in contact with. I haven't driven a factory stock or any type of stock car in that realm. I told Jeffrey Abbey that the only way I would drive a stock car is if it was his, because it looks like it drives itself.
Yeah.
But I started racing when I was 6 years old, racing quarter midgets, and then moved into the mini sprint ranks, the 600cc stuff. And then basically I didn't really start racing sprint cars until I was a few years in down here in Texas, where I could actually afford to go do it by myself. And I did. So I started that. My first race was Devil's Bowl. There was 45 cars. I had to run a B main, made it through the B main, and then I basically just been doing that. I've ran a handful of midget shows. I have more fun working on those the kids and stuff that race those things now. I always tell them they just haven't wrecked hard enough yet to figure it out, but that shit hurts.
Man, it's
and then basically sprint cars is probably the most fun I've had. The late model that was an adventure in itself.
One of the things I love about, like, I missed racing, man. So like 2017, 2018 is when the Dirt Talk Nation originated, and I was working at the Devil's Bowl and RPM Speedway, and I had a little studio over in downtown Forney, and the guys had to physically come to the studio, right? So the logistics in that were rough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just trying to get people on. So in the last couple of years, a StreamYard, which is what we use to do our thing, it allows us to be able to bring guys on wherever they are. So that's one of the things that we're doing this year, is trying to get big, not just guys locally, because I mean we've done that. I swear I think I've had every driver of every car at the point in 2017, 2018. What do you think, Lance? You think I think everybody
Covered
been
them
in the
all.
studio multiple times.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I pretty much did. The studio almost looked like the back of the garage there behind Lance, because everybody was always bringing me freaking panels, and I'm like, I don't have enough room in the studio for all these panels, but I'll put them up anyway.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you coming on, and it's always fun to talk racing. But so, what kind of twin shenanigans do you guys ever get up to? Like when y'all were younger, did y'all get up to those twin shenanigans where y'all like switch out and pretend to be the other one for weird or funny reasons?
I mean, so I'm definitely a little bit more outgoing than my brother is as far as that aspect. So as far as shenanigans goes, we never really did any. I mean, he even like would go change shirts if I would purposely put the same shirt on. He just didn't want to do that. He didn't want the spotlight or like the attention from it. But for me, like I didn't mind doing it. Like I've actually stepped into a race car because we were racing quarter midgets. The steering wheel had come off, and he like just smoked the wall. And so I was standing there, and one of the other driver's dads was like, "Just get in, no one's gonna know." I'm like, but look at the car. Like the toe was like this. I mean, it was terrible. And so I'm like, whatever, I'll go. It was a B main. They were only taking like 2, and I think I ran 3rd or whatever. But nobody ever knew until my mom at the awards banquet at the end of the year. She told she got up on the stage and finally told the story, and everyone just started laughing because nobody would have known. I mean, it wasn't that big of a deal, but I think it was just more the fact that I did it and nobody did know until then. But as far as shenanigans, I mean, not really. It's honestly, it is fun to watch people like double take at racetracks, and then they don't know, right? Especially people that know him very well, and they'll come up to me and they're just talking to me, and I'll try to play along, and then finally I'm like, I'm supposed to know who you are, and I have no idea. You're gonna have to introduce yourself.
You're like, you just wait for him to pause, and you're like, so. Just so you know, you stood here talking for like the last 4 minutes. I have no fucking clue, bro. You're talking. I'm not my brother. I'm Taylor, not Tyler.
You're right.
Like, what? And then there's like shit. They're all embarrassed. Face turns.
Yeah. So when he was here for High Limit, I was helping sell some of his merchandise in his trailer up at Ardmore. And one of his crew guys' dads had come up to the trailer and was just talking to me and just saying yada yada yada. I'm like, man, I'm supposed to know you. I ain't got a clue who you are. And he goes, oh crap, you're not Sunshine. I'm like, no, I'm not Sunshine. I said, man, I'm sorry. I said, but if you introduce yourself to me, I will gladly, talk to you about what you're trying to talk about. But I said, I'm lost in this story now.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
That is crazy.
Like, what is going on right now? That's wild. Honestly, we have to get Tyler on the show so that we can compare stories.
Right.
That's what we need to do. So,
he's a little bit harder to get in touch with. I mean, and I say that because it's hard for me to get in touch with him.
Look at him. He's already looking for an exit strategy on how to not get his brother on with us. That's
Right.
Taylor's just like exit strategy. I don't even get to talk to him or anything because we can't, like, we don't. What happened? Probably.
So Taylor, where are you going?
People ask me all the time, what's he up to? What's he doing next year? And I'm like, man, you'll probably find out the same time I do. It'll either be on Twitter or Facebook or both.
What's your racing plans this year, Taylor?
Hey, Taylor, Lance was asking, can you hear Lance?
Can you hear me?
Taylor, what are your racing plans for this year, Bubba?
I'm trying to. I can barely hear y'all. I don't know if it's me or you.
Well, I don't know if everything's coming clear on this side. Lance wants to know, what are your racing plans for this year? What are you trying to do this year?
Yeah, I did. So this year, I'm basically just racing when I can, where I can. I actually lost all of my racing equipment back in February. So RPM was literally the first night on the car and motor since I got everything back together from the fire. So in February 18th, February 18th, I took my car to the wrap shop over in Weatherford, and I literally we got half the car wrapped. I left. He was going to have it done, ready for me to pick up on Monday morning or Monday afternoon, and I didn't even get home. Sit on my couch, and he called me. It was, man, I got bad news, and I'm like, nah, whatever. I figured he was screwing with me. He goes, no, my shop's on fire. I said, no, it's not. And
Just there.
next thing I know, I don't hear back from him, but I'm like, that's either good or bad. But there's nothing I can do about it an hour away. I wake up and there's just pictures on my phone of just the whole shop's ablaze. So I lost not only my car, I lost the trailer because I had a little open trailer in there. So I just sold all my enclosed, my big enclosed to just go back racing simple. And it was gone. I just paid for it. The car was race ready, so I lost the only thing I salvaged from all that was literally my motor. And the motor, I took it all completely apart. It had 12 nights on it from new, and put it all back together. And I just got it back last Thursday. Took it to the track, and it ran just fine. I had some overheating issues and a little bit of an oil leak, but that stuff I'll get fixed up probably before the next RPM race. And but for this year, no, I mean I told Steve I have full intention on racing with him because he's putting up the money for us 305 guys. I don't care what the pit pass is. I mean I'm not there for start money. I'm there to try and take his $1,500 and get it away from his 49 car, right?
Yeah.
And we'll try and see what we can do with that. And then, go race here and there when I can. Maybe try and go up to Nebraska and race it up there too.
Cool.
Man, Taylor, we appreciate you coming on with us so much, man, taking the time out of your day, your week, your Wednesday night, man. We salute you. Cold beers all around, or seltzer, or whatever the hell you said you're drinking over there, made by Death Row Records and stuff. So we appreciate you coming on, Bubba. We'll catch you up with you at the track for sure. And
I like cold beer. I just happen to find this stuff, and it's actually pretty tasty.
He's just like, hey, whatever I can
Whatever.
drink.
Try it.
Fine, whatever. It's got alcohol in it. Let's go. Well, we appreciate. Look at him. We need a beer. I gotta build a beer counter for the thing.
Yeah.
He's got to go get another one now. But Taylor, we appreciate you coming on with us, Bubba. We hope you have a good night, and we'll see you at the track. All right. Later, Bubba. Have a good one. All right, y'all. There he goes. That is Taylor Courtney, driver of the 305 sprint car. Got just muscled out by my dude Justin Fifield the other night, and couldn't just. I mean, look, dude, he's gone. So
I didn't see the race.
Well, the race, like, he was in the lead. Taylor had a really good lead, and I should have the video up somewhere. But Taylor had a really, really good lead, and there was a caution on the track, and so you know how it is, man. You get you got a bunch of everybody else back up, and that gives just the faster cars who maybe wasn't quite fast enough to begin with, give them a chance to get in his hip pocket. And Fifield had a great restart, and we moved on. And he moved on past him, and when he got past him on that first lap, and Fifield's gone, dude. He got a hot rod out there in that 49 car.
I watched a little bit of the modified feature, but that was about it.
Man, the modified feature was crazy, man. The first on the start, I think there was like 9 cars piled up in turn 1, dude. It was wild.
Wow.
We had to reach. It was like 9 cars. They just they got through there, and I think it started sprinkling. Is what happened. It started sprinkling and light rain, right in the middle of that feature. And so we started, and literally 8 or 9 cars piled up in turn 1. And then we had to, they had to get them all unpiled and restarted, and then get going back with that. So you got, where's your cold beers? You got to go get another cold beer real quick?
I go get another cold beer.
All right, well, I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. Up next, it's Jake Tim, the current points leader for USMTS. And if you don't know what all those letters stand for, it's the United States Modified Touring Series. Scheduled to play, sorry. I've been talking football all damn day. Scheduled to race at RPM this weekend. But, hold on, let me pull this up here real quick. Again, if I were, if I was a guy that planned everything out on time, you know what I mean? That'd be weird if I did that. So let's check out this right here. Boom. We're going to pull up the forecast for this weekend. Look at this. Here's this right here. It's going to go right through.
Tonight, yeah.
So let's look at this right here. This is the daily. And here, come on, load up. And so here's, oh man, it's even showing starting tonight.
Yeah, tonight,
Tomorrow and into Friday. So
Friday.
unfortunately, we may not be racing this weekend. And that sucks.
Yeah.
And that sucks. Because
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed that it doesn't, but man, usually with something that big, and they're talking about over a span of 3 days, the likelihood of it not raining is not very high. We're gonna take a little break, get like I said, a little info from our friends at East Texas Towers. Cold Beer Crush, boom, silver bullet down. I'm almost done with mine. Come back, it'll be Jake Tim on the show right after this. And I'm almost done with my cold beer. Hold on, let me just wrap this up while we're here. Entertain the people, Lance Plant.
See if you can hear this.
Oh, look at that. I love that sound.
Hey, the mountains are blue. That means it's cold.
All right, ready? Boom.
There you go.
Cold beer down.
You definitely need a beer counter for next time so we can keep track. We got to keep track of our drinking. We got to be responsible drinkers.
Responsible, yes. Drink responsibly, everybody.
Yeah.
Drink responsibly, I just mean like drink until you black out. No,
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. Hold on. So up next is Jake Tim. Let's bring Jake into the show. Jake, what's going on, my man?
How's it going, guys?
What's up, Jake?
What's going on? What are you drinking over there, Jake?
I got some Budweiser here.
Oh, so you got the
man.
Budweiser. We're opposing. We're silver bullets, my man. We are silver bullets.
Silver
right here,
bullets.
Hey, it's all good.
You're drinking like old school Budweiser, man, like the lager, the king of beers.
Yeah, I've always been a Budweiser guy.
So, man, USMTS, man, tell us about how you got involved in that and what's going down with you.
I mean, where I'm located, it's always been kind of modified country. So I've raced mods my whole life, or I guess my whole racing career. So that's kind of how it got going. That's kind of the highest level you can get to in a modified. I think, anyways, and yeah, that's where we're ended up right now. So it's been going good so far.
So, where are you based out of?
Winona, Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Don't you know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a pretty good drive to Texas.
That's a haul.
Yeah, I think it's like 15 hours or something to RPM.
Yeah, I bet you're watching the weather too, ain't you?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
He's like, before I freaking load all this shit up and head south
Right.
to Minnesota, you damn right.
Yeah,
So
we
I
got
think
we
I've
got
been in
$3
touch
to
with
win,
track owners.
15 minutes from our house too. So this weekend, so I can race here too. So
I was
it wouldn't break
talking
my
to
heart
track
if that
owners
right
earlier.
now.
I was talking to the track owners earlier, and they're watching it. If it starts raining tonight, like it shows it's going to rain, they'll probably call it for early in the morning, which stinks. Because I love racing. I was looking forward to the USMTS, and hopefully, a lot of times what they do is they reschedule. So, they only at RPM we only schedule the first 3 weeks of the month, and so sometimes at least 1, sometimes 2 weekends at the end of the month that they can reschedule stuff for later in the year when it's not raining all the time. Unfortunately, here in Texas, dude, through most of some of March, most of April, and the first half of May, it seems like it just rains all the damn time.
Yeah.
Just rains.
Yeah,
all the
I mean,
time. And it's always on the weekend. It never rains on Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's always fucking Thursday.
It's beautiful
Friday,
today.
Saturday. Dude, it's beautiful. It's like 88 degrees and the sun's shining, no clouds in the sky. It's beautiful. And then, oh, what? Y'all got races this weekend? Fuck you. Psh, rain all the time.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So-
kind of done that way this year. I mean, we're supposed to race in Texas like 4 or 5 times already. I think I've only got 1 or 2 weekends in.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Springtime in Texas is a tough ass time to get races in, dude. It's absolutely horrible. And then you get into summertime, and hey, there's no rain at all, and then it's 105 degrees outside at 7 p.m., and you're like, damn, it's hot as balls out here, bro.
Let's go back north.
You just go back north, yeah, man. Let's go check out that 85-degree high in the middle of
Minnesota. Yeah.
So, aside from racing, Jake, what other sports are you interested in?
I watch a lot of football. Sundays, I usually sit down and watch Red Zone Channel and the Minnesota Vikings. So, pretty big on football. I am, yeah. Unfortunately.
Man, you think? Well, I don't know, man. I think they're building a pretty good team. I think that ultimately here shortly, I think they're going to trade for Traylon Burks from Tennessee, the first round pick from a couple of years ago out of Arkansas. I think they're going to get him to pair up there with
What makes you think that?
I write for the NFL. That's my real job.
Do you really?
Yeah, I write for the NFL, and
You got some inside knowledge?
I've been covering the Traylon Burks bit for a few teams that I write for. They're wide receiver deficient, and I think Traylon Burks. He got drafted to Tennessee. Tennessee was in the middle of crappy quarterback play between Tannehill and moving to Levis, and he just never clicked there. And then Tennessee ended up signing both Tyler Boyd and Calvin Ridley. So Burks is the odd man out there. And I think that if he's in the right situation, I think he could be really, really successful. And, with the young team that they have in Minnesota, they would give him the opportunity to blossom up there. But fair warning, okay? Fair warning and just clear openness for you. I'm a lifelong Packers fan, bro.
Oh,
Man. God.
If you could see on the other side of my monitors in my office here, it is all green.
Why?
I've been a Packers fan.
You're from Texas?
Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you why. So I grew up in a little town called Mesquite, Texas. Okay. Mesquite, Texas is the Pee Wee football capital of the world. There are more Pee Wee football teams in Mesquite, Texas than any other city in the world. The team I played for, the Packers. As a kid, I started like, when you start learning about football, and learn the history of football or whatever. And as a kid, who had more freaking history than the Green Bay Packers, man? At the time, they were 11-time world champions. Literally the Super Bowl trophy is named after Vince Lombardi. I mean, come on, man.
So you must hate the Cowboys then. That's a rivalry.
Look, I don't necessarily hate the Cowboys. I mean, I've lived in Dallas my whole life. I grew up here. I write for the Cowboys, which is kind of an odd deal. I used to work at the radio home of the Dallas Cowboys as well. So, it's like I tolerate them. It's not the Cowboys I don't like.
So horrible.
Look, it's not the Dallas Cowboys that I don't like, okay? It's the fans. Like, if you're 25 and under, don't come at me with, like, we them boys, all right? Y'all ain't done shit in your entire lifetime, bro. Can you sit down and shut up, please? Like, if you're 50 and you're like, we them boys, I'm like, hey, man, back in the 90s, they were them boys.
Yeah, 92, 94, 95.
Yeah, they were awesome in the 90s, dude. I watched them. They were freaking phenomenal.
I'm still waiting for any of that to happen in Minnesota.
Anyway. I think the Vikings are only really a couple of pieces short, really. And they
always are.
Right. I was just
they're always 9 and 8.
And I have dude. Look, it was a hilarious story. Okay, and we'll get back to racing here in just a second. So we bought a house in Forney, and then the house next to me was empty for like 2 fucking years, dude. For 2 years empty. And so then somebody buys it, and it's all cool, and then I meet the guy. He's a goddamn Bears fan, bro. Like, how does this happen? How does a Bears fan? And then he would get his kids, and they would chalk a big Bears logo on the middle of my driveway when I wasn't home. I'm like, this son of a bitch right here. And so it became a battle. It became a war between us two until my wife and I finally moved in October of 22. But it was just a fun rivalry.
Because of them?
You know, he's a Bears fan. You know, he knows his team sucks.
Did you move because they were drawing Bears logos? Or?
No, I started putting big Green Bay Packers shit on his front door, but I would tape it to the bricks, so when he opened his door to leave, it was just like literally he had to walk right through it.
That's funny.
Pranks are fun, man. Pranks are fun, and you know, look, I've seen guys prank guys in the pits. You know, they're friends.
Oh,
and they prank each other and stuff like that. What kind of pranks you ever get up to, Jake?
Me?
Yeah.
I ain't done a whole lot at the racetrack, but I worked for Dad in a machine shop, and man, it was nonstop every other day. It seemed like prank war going on constantly. One time, I actually put dog shit in a guy's toolbox.
That's
That's pretty good there.
Yeah,
that's funny.
It was one of my first
literally
days.
Funny shit.
Have you ever seen a CNC machine?
Yeah.
It was one of my first days, and he turned the coolant line so it was aiming right at the operator, basically, and told me to go start running the machine. And of course, I hit the go button, and I get soaked in coolant. And so that was my response.
Oh wow,
that's funny.
Yeah. We did that at work too.
So I know that my dude Lance over here, this is his first night as co-hosting, and I appreciate Lance. Like, man, he reached out last week, and we've been talking back and forth. I've known Lance since 2017, so 7 years now since
Been
I
that
started
long?
doing. So it's been 2017 was my first year at the bowl and RPM, and I know it seems like forever ago, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But
And I wanted to reach out to Jake and try and get some national exposure, or you know, and get some national drivers to our show, you know. So that's why I reached out to Jake, and I think I raced with him a couple times last year or 2 years ago at Tri-State and some different spots, but I wanted to reach out to him and USMTS points leader. So
yeah, I think the biggest thing is, like, you know, Jake, for us in 2017 when I started this show, you know, it was very, very local centric, right? Because I work for the Devil's Bowl, which is a historic racetrack, right? Everybody knows about the Devil's Bowl, and it's the birthplace of World of Outlaws and all that jazz. So that's where I worked, and I worked at RPM Speedway, and so I had a physical studio that everybody had to come to. So everything was very local centric, not necessarily by my choice, but it's just kind of how that worked out. Thankfully, StreamYard allows me to bring on guests from across the country. So Lance and I, our goal is to bring guys from across the country, and you're just as far north as we can get up there in Minnesota, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Now we got to get guys from Oregon, and then we got guys from Florida, and then we got to get guys from friggin' Maine
All
or
over.
some shit. It's 100%. We want to go nationwide to support and promote dirt track racing, man. And you've never raced anything else but modifieds?
Well, I got a dirt late model too. I started in a B mod, and then obviously like go karts and things like that, but mainly
you were pretty heavy in late model last year, wasn't you?
Yeah, the last few years we went pretty heavy on late model, and it's a tough crowd, you know. It's tough to get up to speed and really compete with those guys up front. I mean, they're racing 100 nights a year or whatever it is, and I can only afford to race 20 or 30, so it's really hard to get up to speed, I guess, and maintain pace with them.
Technology's always changing on them things, and you got to stay up, you know. And I feel the same way as a modified. You know, if you're not racing 40 times a year, you're going to be behind. And that's what I've struggled with. When was the last time you've been to RPM?
Me?
Yeah.
2019.
Been
I
a
think I
while.
was there.
That's it. Been a
2020
while,
maybe.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was terrible when I was there. I didn't make the feature.
Wow.
That place is different.
It is for
You
sure.
know, it is different. I'm not gonna lie, it's different, but it's also pretty damn cool, man. It's look. I'm gonna tell you this right now. On Saturdays when I wake up and it's a race day, I'm ready to go. Like I'm just ready to go, just
Yeah.
because I love racing. I've never raced in my entire life. I grew up around drag racing actually. My uncle was a he built John Force's very first funny car. And
Oh
so I
wow.
grew up going. I grew up going to drag racing, and stuff like that. But dirt track racing, it, you know how like you just fall into something, right?
Yeah.
I just fell into calling races. So I own a radio station, and I was thinking we went to the Spring Nationals in 2017 at Devil's Bowl Speedway, and I was like, man, this would sound really cool on my radio station.
Yeah.
So I went and I talked to the owner's girlfriend and was like, hey, here's my card. Man, I would love to broadcast on my radio station. And then 4 days later, I get a phone call and he's like, hey, man, have you ever announced racing before? I said, no, but I mean, I've announced every other sport, so why not? Right? And thus, I just fell into. Fell into announcing racing, man. And then I grew up as a kid going to the Devil's Bowl and Lance, I don't know if if you went as a kid, that long, on Lawson Road before they built everything up. Did
Yeah.
you ever get did your parents or relatives ever tell you about the house with the red light in the top and the 2-story house? And it's
No, never.
So if you head, I guess that'd be what time way is it? North. Like if you're in Devil's Bowl and you turn left, it's north. Yeah. So if you're heading north and you're coming up on that long ass field, right there in the bottoms, at night, there's this one house. It's like way back there. Like you can't see it during the day, but it's way back there. But at night, you'll see a house that's got a red light in the window upstairs. And it used to freak me the fuck out, dude.
I bet.
There's a haunted house because you can't, because you drive by it in the daytime and they go, hey, you see, you can't see it. And then when you leave and you're like, holy shit. But it's a weird, it's always fun, man. I love meeting all the new drivers and people that come to town. And I guarantee you, like, if we get to race this week, I'm going to be down in the pits with Jake just for a little bit. Getting down there is kind of sketchy for me. I need a golf cart. Is there any people out there that have golf carts? Golf cart sponsor for me,
right.
For the pits because I just can't get around. Unfortunately, Jake, I had a stroke last year.
Oh,
As a matter
damn.
of fact, 11 months ago yesterday. 11 months ago yesterday, I had a stroke, and while my brain and my mouth clearly still work, my body doesn't cooperate sometimes, and I don't feel anything on the left side of my body, so walking is difficult for me. But if you weren't racing, what would you be doing?
Oh man, I don't know. Probably machining parts, honestly. I was going to school to be a mechanical engineer before I kind of took on racing full time, so maybe that, I don't know.
What is your passion? What do you love more than, is there anything you love more than racing?
No, my wife maybe.
I don't blame you. Racing's fun, man. I'm telling you, I love race days. I love them. To me, it's just a lot of fun.
And you might know this, Will, but his dad, they own Mississippi Thunder. And it's a great track, and hopefully I can visit it soon. I think they got a big race coming up, don't they, Jake?
Yeah, 100,000 to win modifieds. Big deal.
How much did you say?
100,000.
100,000 for modified?
Yeah.
I'm gonna learn to drive.
You don't know about this?
I want to learn to drive a modified real quick.
Right.
$100,000 is a lot of money, bro. Let's do
Yeah, no kidding.
Put that up on the screen real quick. So
That's going to be a big deal. I've on it, and I think it's going to be a big race.
you gonna go race that,
Yeah.
Lance?
No, I didn't get signed up, invited. Well, it's not invited, but I didn't sign up in time. I'm just a little behind right now. Only racing
Jake, you can't pull no
15
strings to
road
get
shows
Lance
a
on.
year.
Jake, you can't pull no strings to get Lance on the track, man.
Hey, it ain't even our show. Otherwise, I might be able to.
Yeah.
That's the Barry
I
Brown
tried,
show.
Lance. I tried,
Barry
man.
Braun, he's doing great things up there, and I'm looking forward to watch that race. And unfortunately, I couldn't make it.
I know Lance has he screenshotted me a whole bunch of questions. Lance, take it away.
I don't have a bunch of questions, and we already covered some of them. How long does it take to get to RPM, and when's the last time you've been there? But I really want to know about Gorilla Mill. Like, I see it huge on the side of the car, and I'm like, can't figure out by the name, but I think it's something to do with machining.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So my dad owns a CNC machine company, and so we got connected with them through that. But they make carbide cutting tools for CNC machines, end mills, carbide drill bits,
Yeah.
a lot of specialty type tooling. But they're big supporters of racing, and they've been so good to me. I can't thank them enough for everything they've done for us. But I wouldn't be out on the Cynthia's tour without them. I can tell you that.
Yeah. I mean, it's expensive for sure, and to have those sponsors is key to run a tour like USMTS, because it's going to be a lot of money just to get to Texas.
Oh yeah, I mean it's basically $100 an hour to drive down the road, and it's 15 hours there. So
Yeah.
you can do the math on it, and on top of that, you got tires and everything else. But I mean, yeah, you definitely got to have sponsors in today's day and age to try and do any sort of racing.
Who are we like to say who are some of your sponsors, man? We like to get them out on the air, that way that you can say, hey guys, check it out. We were promoting you guys for helping us out and helping us get up and down the road and do this race thing, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Gorilla Mill, first and foremost, they've been with me for 3-4 years now, and Herco CNC Machines, they've been with me for a long time, probably 5, 6, 7 years now. Mazzio Valley Transportation, they're new this year. Royal Jones, if you guys have heard of him, owns Battle Speedway Park. Awesome dude. Yeah, he came on board this year. Horman's HVAC, big fans, and I've known him forever. I grew up with them, and yeah, they're great. River City Manufacturing, R&R Machining, Oak Ridge Fabrication, Rage Chassis, Willie's Carbon Dyno, Rush Race Gear by Austin Witt, Stone Machinery and Tools, Riverland Trucking. Man, it takes a lot of help to get up and down the road. I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody, but I can't thank them all enough.
Yeah, it definitely takes a team for sure. Traveling to Texas, traveling all over the country, it takes a lot of fuel and a lot of money. And man, I would love to do it one day, but but yeah, it definitely takes those sponsors. And I guess
So
you plan on running
every week, Jake? Do you race every single week, or are there times that you take off, or like this weekend? I mean, we possibly could be rained out, right? And nobody wants to drive from Minnesota to Texas and get rained out. So hopefully they call that soon enough that you don't waste all the fuel and everything to get here. But do you typically race every single weekend?
Yeah, I mean there's only like I think there's only 2 weekends I have off from now until like November. But like this weekend, for example, I mean, we're only 15 minutes from Mississippi Thunder Speedway, and I'll go there because they got 3,000 to win. And then Deer Creek on Saturday, they're only an hour from us. So, I mean, if our traveling plans end up rained out, I usually find somewhere around home to race.
local. Yeah.
It's the name of the game. You can't go out and really practice racing. So, like, the only way to get better is just race and race and race. So,
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah, if I'm sitting around home, I mean, just even if I go race a weekly show, I try something, try and get better. Kind of use those as practice nights, but practice nights that you get a paycheck for, I guess. So
Yeah, for sure.
I always try and take advantage of it and get better at least.
Yeah, I got some good advice about 10 years ago from Jason Hughes, and he always said there's not a part that you can buy or anything on the market that you can put on that car that can replace seat time.
Yeah, no, not at all.
It's key.
But I'm in a position right now where I'm battling at both sides. I mean, we got our late model program and our modified program, and it's like I can't afford to race enough in the late model to get good, and in the modified, I've raced my whole life, so I have an upper hand there. So, that you're exactly right. There's nothing that can replace seat time, and on top of that, just unless you got some super smart crew guy with you,
right.
I mean, you got to figure out all that stuff too on your own. So that's all stuff that takes time and weekends and nights at the track to figure out.
Yeah. You're with the Rage chassis now, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You were the MB for a while, then moved over to Rage.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had MB late models and modifieds, and then we got a Longhorn late model, and then at the same time, I had a sponsor that his kid raced Rage chassis, and he kind of wanted me to get into a Rage chassis and kind of, I don't know if it was to help him out or whatever it was, but he basically got me set up and got me a car, and it was really good right out of the box. So it's been with them ever since. So it's 3-4 years ago now.
Yeah. You don't see very many Rage chassis down here in Texas. I know Kevin Sestero over at Rocket raced a Rage chassis for a while, but you don't see him down here.
Yeah, no, I mean, really, if you're USRA, there's not a whole lot out there, but they're big in IMCA, but we're up in our area, we're starting to see more and more of them now.
Yeah, sure. We're definitely in MB country, even though they're way up north. I mean, we have so many MBs down here, it's crazy. And I switched over from a Hughes to MB 3 years ago, and it's been great so far. So
yeah, I mean, MBs, they got a hell of a business there. I mean, they can produce cars as fast as anybody and as consistent as anybody. So yeah, they have the ability to get a lot of cars out there in a short amount of time. So there's a lot of them out there.
Well, cool.
Well, I do appreciate you for jumping on with us, Jake. We this is like I said, this is our first show with me and Lance, and we're looking forward to many more and trying to expand this show nationwide. Be like, what's that? That old ZZ Top song? I'm bad and I'm nationwide. That's what we're trying to do, man. And so we appreciate you jumping on all the way from Minnesota, don't you know?
Yeah.
All right. Who in your family talks like that, by the way?
Honestly, nobody except my wife. She's got a hard Minnesota accent.
She's got a hard Minnesota accent. She's like,
"Come
on, Jake. Don't you know it's time for dinner?" Yeah.
Yeah. Here, say the word boat. Sounds like boat. Boat.
Let's go to the boat.
But no, I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah,
absolutely. I like what you're doing here. I mean, I think there should be more media in dirt racing.
For sure.
It's a great sport and a lot of entertainment value there. So I like
one
what
of
you
the
guys
things
are doing.
that's what we want to do, man, is just get guys on from all over the country, grow the show and grow the sport of dirt track racing, man. It's kind of what our goal is, brother. We appreciate you coming on with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys.
You got it, buddy.
All right, bud.
There it goes, y'all. Jake is the points leader for the USMTS. Jake Tim, man. He's that's a pretty cool guy, man. I love that. It was good stuff.
Yeah, for sure. His dad, Bob, man, he loves dirt tracking too, and they own a big track up here in Mississippi Thunder.
Mississippi. I think it's hilarious. It's Mississippi Thunder in Minnesota. Yeah. That's crazy stuff, man. Hey, let's take a quick break. Hear from East Texas Towers. When we come back, me and Lance gonna wrap this episode up, bro. Thanks for checking them out right here. on the Dirt Talk Nation. What? No, we got to get our beer counter on for next time.
Yeah.
We'll put a beer counter at the top of the page here so you guys can see how many beers we are pounding during the show. We appreciate you. We're going a little bit long right now. It's a little bit past the top of the 8 o'clock hour. Lance,
Hey,
buddy,
it's okay.
it's good times, man. I enjoyed it very much, and I'm sure we're going to have a lot more fun next week. Hold on, I'm in the wrong damn screen here. What are you going to know?
I'm excited, man. I think this thing's going to grow. We keep pushing it. We're going to keep growing this thing, and I'm
drinking
excited.
cold beers. It's just another reason to drink cold beer, bro.
Drink cold beer. Yep.
Another reason to drink cold beer, talk shit, and talk racing right here on the Dirt Talk Nation. Lance, buddy, I appreciate you for Lance and myself, Will Riggs. This has been the Dirt Talk Nation. You guys, we will see you again next Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, right here on Dirt Talk Nation.